Welcome to KSL Day 5. Hope you guys enjoyed Day 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're on the tail end of the group stages here. Bisu's looking tired, but we are not. We are energized because we've got 2 more days of group stages before we move on to the round of 8. And Bisu's sitting pretty over here right now. He's at, you can actually see his stats right there. 2 wins, 0 losses in the round of 16, which is really exciting because I like Bisu. And he's amazing. So, yeah. Let me turn this down a little bit. So what do we have to say about Bisu? Well, for one, he's going up against Kwanro. You saw his Zerg stats right there, 70% win rate. Very strong Protoss versus Zerg player. And to be truthful, he's going to need it because I think all but one Protoss that we've seen play Zerg have lost. All but one. And there's been plenty of PVZs, so that's a little disheartening. And I think the meta and the map pool that we're watching has been favoring Zerg a bit. They're just very open middles that they've gotten great flanks on. The Muta play into Lurker play has been very strong, so yeah. It is what it is. Alright, so let's get into this. We're going to skip some of the stuff they're talking about here and find out when they talk about the map. Here's the map. Oh, it is Circuit Breaker. Alright. I love how they say Circuit Breaker! Can you hear him say Circuit Breaker? 4-player map. Nothing too much to talk about here other than, again, main base, and then you've got the natural right down below, a third base that can be difficult to defend. You got 2 small ramps and then a huge ramp for so multiple areas of attack, as well as a ramp into a 4th base, which the 4th base can be very hard to defend as you have the high ground into the low ground over here. But I think, you know, for the most part, we've seen a couple hidden expansions, but for the most part, people go into that normal ordering of expanding. But enough about that. Let's get to the game. And here we go. Bisu versus Kwanro. FSFD. PPPP. Get set, ready, gore! I don't know why they put R's. I still think it's in tribute to Gur for some reason. And here we go. On the top right, we've got Bisu, the red Protoss player, on Circuit Breaker, cross position from his opponent, Kwanro. And there's Bisu himself, the man, the God Toss, the Bisu. Teal Zerg over here is Kwanro, who's looking, I gotta say, pretty clean cut today. Although, I mean, in fairness, Koreans don't get a ton of facial hair, so it's not that hard. Whereas us whiteys, on the other hand, I gotta shave every day. It sucks. That's why I have a beard, because I hate shaving. If I could nair my face, I'd probably consider it. But anyway, that's completely irrelevant to what we're watching here. I'm assuming that we're going to see a fast expansion coming from Bisu. That is definitely the current meta of play here for Protoss players. And we should definitely see that same safe play from him. He's going for the fast scout, or really standard scout, outside of that pylon drop. And it's going to take him a little bit to find the Zerg player, but that's okay. Let's look at Kwanro's stats while we wait over here. I'm not sure we've gone over his EVP stats, but he's listed at a 46% win rate against Protoss. Bisu, on the other hand, is at 86%, and according to this, he's at a 70%, which is probably lifetime stats. So the 86% win rate... Oh, that was Protoss. Hold on. No, it's 60%. Actually, so Zerg was his worst matchup, and if you remember, in the group stages where he was able to move someone, I think he moved one Zerg out for Terran, or maybe I'm thinking about it the other way around. I forget. I don't remember. It's not that important. But it's definitely his worst matchup at the moment. He's very strong against Terran with an 82% win rate and 86 against Protoss. He just dominates that mirror match. And he's always been strong in the PvP matchup, so that's nothing too new. Uh-oh! He almost blocked it. Not quite, though. I think Kwanro got a little worried there for a moment. Probably not. They just kind of zoomed in on him like, ah, he's worried! To stream for Twitch, do you just need a webcam and the rest is Twitch tools? I actually use OBS, if anyone cares, which is Open Broadcaster Software. You can just Google that. Or if you prefer Bing, all three of you who don't use it for searching for porn with videos. I know what you use it for. Don't try to fool me. And it's very good, actually. There's a lot of plugins for it, and then you can set up everything like the webcam and all these different tickers and stuff, but yeah. So, just answering a question here for you YouTubers who are like, why is he talking about this? In the meantime, it looks like we've got some Lings heading across the map to force Bisu to throw down a cannon. He does do that. It's going to finish in time. I'm sure he'll try to block off the top end of that. He's got probes heading in to do exactly that. They are in place, and that'll be enough to stop any run-bys from anywhere from less than really 12 Lings or less with a single cannon. Maybe closer to like 8 to 10. 12 would probably get through. But not without incurring fairly heavy losses. So that expansion is down, and Bisu is continuing to scout in the main base of Kwanro. He's going to see exactly when he gets his lair tech up and running, which is pretty much a guarantee. We have a fast third base down for Kwanro. Often we see the third hatchery inside the base, so Bisu might be somewhat clued into this, or he might be wondering if he's doing something sneaky, some other build like a mass ling build or who knows what. But he knows the gas is mining, so he should expect to see a lair very quickly, unless he's going speedlings. But even then, he wouldn't have as much on gas as he has right now. He'd already have 100. He's trying to take out the probe, but the probe is a little slippery bastard, and he jukes and jives a little bit over here. Mineral trick to get himself out of the base, and he might actually get out. Probe is getting attacked by the drone. The drone's got whooped. Oh, he doesn't get him. And the shield's starting to regen, so he's going to take at least another hit. And it looks like that probe is going to get home safe and sound. Zealot's heading on the way to also... Well, he's going to skip all the Lings, actually, which is kind of a big deal because they're going to be far away from the base. There goes the lair, by the way. I think Kwanro is trying to hide it. And the Zealot is going to get some free damage and attacks on these drones over here. Drones are going to try to fight him, and they're doing a very good job of tripping him up. In the meantime, the Lings are still on the other side of the map. Zealot looks like he gets one kill at the moment. Another Zealot is now out at the front door for Bisu. Bisu's doing a very good job of delaying mining time over here. Sunken is... Oh, a Spire's going down in his face! Might as well, right? You're losing those drones, and beautiful job by Kwanro. Minimal losses taken by that drone defense. Very nicely done with the messing around with the mineral line. And Corsair's coming out for Bisu. So again, fairly standard play for the Protoss. We've seen most commonly Citadel, Stargate, Templar Archive play, so you get DTs and Corsairs or something to do with Citadels. We have speed now for the Lings, so they're able to take out any scouting probes at this point. Corsair is heading out to do some harassment and sees a free Overlord. We got a Ling run by, though, and as they heard, Chogalings are out, and they're going to do some damage on the probe line. And they're on the cannon as well. Run by coming in. Kwanro, Mr. Aggressive himself, is attacking the cannon. The cannon goes down. Another cannon goes down. Now it's just probes and a single Zealot trying to take out all of these Lings, and the Lings are going down. Next Zealot is coming back to try to defend against this, and it looks like Bisu will be able to defend this, but he loses another cannon in the process. Another cannon go down. Those are all lost minerals unless he was able to cancel it. Another Zealot is going to go down on the front line as well, and still he cannot defend against this. Kwanro continuing to take out resources here. He may get another cannon before it's able to build. Another Zealot goes down, and Bisu is in a world of trouble here. Lings continue to stream across the map. There is 2 gateways producing Zealots, but it may be too little too late. He's got good saturation still in his main, and he's keeping those probes alive, but these Zealots are not going to make it for much longer. He's getting surrounded. He's trying to get to a good position with the probe line. Probes come in, and they're able to save for a second, and now the probes go down as well. Bisu is going to lose his match at this rate. He loses all the probes that were back in that attack, and there are no more Zealots to be seen on the map. Where's Bisu's face? I gotta see the reaction here. Is he gonna be able to make it through this or not? Probes continuing to fight the Lings, and this is it, guys. There is no coming back from this. I'm about to see GG, I'm pretty sure, coming from Bisu as more Lings make their way into the base. And Scourge out as well for any Corsair. Kwanro has put the pressure on Bisu, and Bisu is not going to be able to defend this. One Corsair cannot micro against Scourge. 2 of them are out. 1 goes down. 2 Scourge are still going to chase down the other one, and they stay outside to make sure that nothing else comes through. Lings continuing to stream in the base, and they're going to take out the next Zealot. And at this point, I don't think there's much of anything that Bisu can do. I'm surprised there haven't been any Muta out on the field yet, because that would be all that's needed to basically wrap up this match. And at this point, Bisu is just in it for pride, I guess. I don't know. Maybe he's hoping that Kwanro will disconnect in a land match. He's got plenty of zealots, but he knows GG. He knows it's GG. I was looking at his face, and I'm like, did he stop playing? And then I saw the GG. It was over the gateway. So, nice try by Bisu. Unable to beat the one win streak of the Protoss against the Zerg players, and we continue to see Zergs dominate. And Kwanro, look at him. He can't contain his happiness here. He knows he just took down the giant, the favorite, by the way, the fan favorite, Bisu. So, awesome. GG, guys, and we'll see you in game number 2. On to game 2. I'm going to try to start my videos out without saying, alright, guys, because I did that in every single video that I posted in the past 2 days, which I painfully was aware of as I edited the videos. And I was like, oh, stop saying that, man, looking back on it. Anyway, we got Mind versus Killer coming up next. You can see Killer's win rate is a whopping 41% against Terran. What was Mind's versus her? 56, so definitely looking pretty solid for Mind right now. Looks like these two guys are chatting back and forth in the lobby, potentially. And yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to this game. We haven't done enough TVZs in my mind, and they are always exciting. So these guys wear the same ties and the same sweater vest every time we've got it on. Actually, the middle guy, I think, is a different tie today. Who is this? Why do I know who this is. He's casted for a long time. I don't recognize the other two guys, by the way. But that's okay. That's why they're on the sides, because they're just extras. So we're going to be playing on, what is this, Demian, I think? Demian is the 3-player map that you may have seen or heard of. Here it is. Well, they've got it pretty close up. I don't need to overlay it on top of that. And we've seen a few games on it. Nothing too crazy to note outside of it's 3 players. You know, I mean, it's got a small choke, a big choke, and a very wide area for people to attack into. A lot of space to drop behind or on the side of. Guinness makes me burp a lot, I'm sorry. And I think it gave me the hiccups too. Yep, fantastic. Casting with the hiccups. And now, let's get into the game because I've wasted enough time here, didn't I? Carrier, he is the best caster, that's right, man. The pretty boys, the pretty flies. Pretty fly, Isaac reference, can't help it. Looks like the Zerg's ready to go. Killer Zerg. And here we go. So in the bottom left, we've got Mind in blue, the Terran player, on once again this 3-player map, Demian. And Mind had some pretty good success so far in this. Let me see what he ended up at prior to this game in the group stage. He is 2-0 coming into this game, which will be definitely good momentum. Killer is apparently one of the better players these days in the post-StarCraft 2 Exodus era, with a fairly strong win rate. I think around like 64% or something like that, or 68% maybe. Casters are going crazy about something. I don't really know what, but I don't see anything too cheesy going on. We see eggs being developed by the Zerg player and SCVs being built and no proxies on the way from Mind. And we really wouldn't expect Mind to go anything crazy cheese because that's just not his style. He's very standard player. He's got a certain build that he likes, and that's the build that he's going to execute. That's how he prepares. That's how he plays. And so I'd be incredibly surprised if we see any cheese from Mind at all this tournament. In fact, we haven't really seen much cheese at all this tournament to begin with. We might have seen one game where there was, you know, like a 2-gate or something. But for the most part, they've been pretty straight-up games. Now, I mean, the last game we saw Bisu Kwanro, and he was 3 hatched lings, but I wouldn't really call that cheese, at least not early cheese. But you never know. It looks like we've got a drone scout heading out to see if there are any proxy racks, though, just in case, because if there was one guy that could pull it off, it would probably be Mind, because nobody ever expects it to happen. So the drone scout is going into some deep, dark crevices to see if there is anything there. He finds there is not. Or maybe he just totally missed the spawn and has to go all the way back around to get a scout on the third base. That's the other possibility here. Either way, he is going to get that drone scouting in now that he sees the Terran player is not in the top position. So he does spot the SCV. He's also going to see a 14cc coming down here. Wow. Wow. I'm actually... so that does surprise me. I didn't expect to see that from Mind, and it's been scouted early, so Mind is going to be under a little bit of pressure, but he did build it above the ramp, so he should be able to defend against this and wall it off if he really wants, but he didn't even wall it off, so he's clearly not feeling the pressure at the moment. Hey, Dart! Well, I was going to say your whole name, but we're on a first name basis here. Hey, Dart. Good to see you, man. Alright, so at this point, Drone is continuing to get some good scouting information. Mind looking how he always looks. Like Mind. Like a scholar. The Scholar Terran. The Professor. I'm sure there are 100 other names we could come up for him that have to do with academics and being a brainiac. He's like that Dot Hack guy. You know, the Dot Hack characters that have got like the giant heads? That's Mind. He's all brains. And then he's also got pretty crazy APM, so that works for him too. Killer looking pretty focused here. He kept a really nice scout, but he's not punishing this expansion at all at the moment. He's got a few lings popping out, and he may use them to continue to scout. But at the moment, Mind is enjoying this 14cc, which is going to give him a very nice... ooh, Mind! Mind just totally stopped his command center from... dropping down. That sucks. Not a big loss. He caught it just in time, but you always hate when that happens. So yeah, Mind in a good position. He's going to get a good scout here as well. He sees the lair that is coming down. Doesn't have to have Comsat to do that. Comsat's a little bit of a ways away, as I'm not sure he's building an academy yet. Nope. Engineering bay first, so he can get those turrets up to deal with any muta that might be on the way. And then I'm sure he'll work on the... academy after that. He's got 2 barracks, so we are going to see Bio as expected against the Zerg player. And yeah, so right now Mind feels pretty far ahead. No punishment whatsoever from the Zerg player, and Mind is freely building Marines at this point. Academy is going down, so we can expect to see those medics out soon. I doubt he'll make any fire bats at this moment, although he might actually. Well, he might not, because he's got that 14cc. He probably doesn't care if he forces a sunken line or not, so he can do that without the fire bats, I'm sure. Trying to keep that SCV alive. I'm not sure. Oh, he's going to scout for that third base, potentially, in that 12 o'clock location. And he's going to find out there is no such space. So he is going to see that he's really far ahead. Spire's on the way, so Muta will be following that up shortly. I will imagine that we'll see a Hydralisk Den come down in the not-too-distant future as well, for the potential switch to Lurker Tech, if not the versatility of having Zerg buildings ready to go, so you can build whatever units at any time that you like. But that might be a bit off. He's going to probably want to pop out his mutas before he does that, because mutas are expensive, and so is the Lurker upgrade. So that's what I would expect to see. We've got some Chogalings out on the field at this point. They're just going to maintain map pressure, presence, and kill anything that might try to make its way out of the base of Mind. That SCV just got killed in a 12 o'clock location, so no more scouting around for that guy. And so future scouts will be... Mind will be reliant on scans. We do have our medics out at this point, so we've got a fairly strong Marine force up against these Lings. There's not that many Lings to really put this in danger, but we might see a run-by. We do. He's going to spot that bunker. I don't know if there's anything in that bunker, though. I didn't see any bullets fired coming out of it, so it may just be for show and for deterrence. We have 2 Sunkens out on the field, so Mind has not been able to force the commitment of resources to 5 Sunkens, which is a bit unfortunate. And now he's committing to defense of his own, getting some turrets inside of his base and his natural expansion. I'm surprised we're not seeing 2 to 3 in that expansion. I would expect a few more to be going up shortly. And I would actually expect a few more to be going up even in the main base. 2 feels pretty light. There's a third. but I guess he feels that's enough. That'll probably help defend both the mineral line and the barracks positioning. And all right, there's the third one, the mineral line. And oh no, that SCV looks like he's stuck for life. That sucks. Decent number of Muta coming out for Killer, so Killer probably hoping up he they point out the same exact thing. Killer hoping to capitalize on his name here, takes out one turret and nothing from the Marine line. It looks like he hasn't lost any Muta at the moment, gets a free Marine. And the harassment has begun. The Muta are clumped up pretty well. They are one-shotting both SCVs and Marines, not turrets. It looks like he's going to two-shot turrets at the moment, but that's enough to do some serious damage here. And they're going to head to the expansion over here, where he's going to see a heavy turret line, and he'll be pretty quickly deterred from heading back there anytime soon. And Killer, he's got to make a decision here. It looks like he's going to drop that Hydralisk Den after all, so he can make a tech switch into something that might be a bit more useful. Keep in mind, Mind is actually in a good position here. He had that 14cc. It's been mining for quite a while. In fact, I think it might have been done before the expansion of the Zerg, or right around the same time anyway, which is huge for the Terran because you don't have to commit larva to economy over, you know, offensive units. You just can constantly build SCVs if that's what you like. I mean, you got to spend the money, of course, but you don't have to waste the larva. Free turret shots going down on those Muta. That's some pretty decent damage. Ling's getting taken out in the middle. Kind of messy over here. Free Ling's no loss at all for Mind. It looks like the Muta are coming in to try to take out that pack of Marines, but they might incur some fairly heavy losses against that. Some Ling, well, a Ling there as well. First Muta goes down. Looks like they've got another Muta click that was very low. He goes down as well. These Marines are going to be picked off, but 3 Muta lost for the cost of 5 Marines. Not a very good trade, honestly. The value is kind of lacking. In the meantime, the Zerg has gotten the 12 o'clock base up and running. We'll call it maybe 11:30. And Mind's got a fairly strong force, so Killer's going to have to figure out, can he defend this with simple Mutiling, or is he going to be able to delay up until the Lurkers make their way onto the field? Starport coming down at this point, so you can assume that we're going to see a science facility and science vessels in the not too distant future. Strong ground force for the Terran player, weak ground force for the Zerg. I don't think the Zerg player can actually deal with this with what he's got at the moment until he gets Lurkers out on the field. Third Sunken is going down at this point. The Sunken line will defend and deter for and stall for a little bit, but those tanks are going to make pretty quick work for it. Now Muta are trying to push up and take out some Marines over here, and they are getting them pretty piecemeal, so Mind's got to be careful how few he's sending in at a time, and 3 Marines go down for the cost of nothing on top of 3 other ones that he lost over there. But the Sunkens are going down at this point. We've got Lings coming in for a most likely 2-pronged attack. No, actually, they back up. Nope, they are coming back in. 2-pronged attack, and maybe they'll at least take out any reinforcements, but that's a lot of Marines coming in to reinforce, so I don't actually think the Lings will be able to take them out. Nope, they go in head first, and they're on top of the Marines, and they can't clean them up. Can't clean them up. We've got an exposed tank over here. It looks like the Muta will be able to take that out. But at this point, it sounded like he lost another 1, if not 2 Muta. Scan down to check for Lurkers. They're going to see that they're pretty far away, and the tank is in range to do some damage on those. Gets a few shots on it before scan wears off. Second scan now down. 2 tanks to take these out. First Lurker goes down, and another one, at least one more, is within range. And Muta are trying to take out this push, but by themselves, they will struggle. They need something to tank up these Marine hits. We lose another 2 of the pack. He's down to what looks like 3 or 4. And GG coming from Killer. A very quick GG as he realizes that he cannot stop the push. And Mind, as soon as he had that 14cc go down on harassed, he was in a very strong position. So, unfortunate for him. Killer looking a little displeased with his performance by smiling. I can't imagine that's pleased with his performance. I think he's a little embarrassed and surprised he lost that. So, unfortunate for him. And Mind looking like it was just another day at the office over here. Not particularly happy, but certainly anyone taking a win over Killer with the win rate that Killer's had over and success that he's had in the past, that should be something that you are happy about. So, GG, see you guys in Game 3, YouTube. Welcome to Game number 3 of KSL Day 5. Next up is HiyA versus 0 in another hopefully epic TVZ. We just watched the TVZ versus of Mine versus Larva, and since I have been putting all these videos into one video file, it's pretty much guaranteed you watch that. If you didn't, it means you didn't want to watch it, and you've skipped to Game 3 because you love the Fish King himself, HiyA. And so I can spoil the last game where Mine totally just crushed Killer. So that was a good game, fun to watch, but we are on to the next match here with HiyA and Zero. There's Zero himself, looking defenseless in his human form, but soon to be in his Zerg form. You can see he's got a 53% win rate against Terran. Moving back real quick, HiyA's got 53%. Oh, it's exactly even win rates, is it? Did I get that? Oh, no, no, no. 53.33 versus 53.66. HiyA, the heavy favorite here. I don't know if there's a chance for Zero to win this, but we'll see what happens. They're going to be playing on La Mancha, which is, I would assume, Spanish for the man. I don't know. I used to study Spanish, but then I kind of gave up on it because I moved away from all my friends who spoke Spanish, so it seemed to be very little point in doing it anymore. But let's move on to the actual match. Although it's buffering, so I can't go too far ahead here. I thought it would buffer further by now. Here we go! Into the game. What do we got? I love how they always click that to check for something. I don't know, but it's like standard work for these guys to be like, click the ally button. Anyway, the top right corner, we do have HiyA himself in orange, because that is the color of both Nemo and Sebastian, as well as some other famous fish, and he is a fish, so it makes a lot of sense. Zero, the white Zerg in the bottom right, starting off on the same side of the map on Mancha, and it is a 4-player map, so that has some level of significance here. But it's the further of the two, because it's, I don't know if it's really a square, if it's more rectangular-ish. Yeah, maybe it is perfectly square. I don't know which one's further, to be honest. So, I guess the important thing to note here is Zero's not going to get an early scout on the Terran player. So we'll likely see a drone scout coming out in the not-too-distant future. And HiyA, I'll be curious if he decides to go anything sneaky. Now, in the last game, we did see that Mine went for that 14cc, and that was a pretty big play. It set him up for success early on. He was able to leverage that and basically drive an economy that Larva couldn't keep up with on his own 2-base. I mean, Zerg always wants to be a base ahead of Terrans, similar to Protoss always wants to be a base ahead of Terran. So the fact that he couldn't maintain that put him very far behind very quickly. We're zooming in on HiyA's chapped lips for some reason. I would love to give him some of my chapstick if I could. Just kind of wipe that on his face over there. Yeah. That explains the mouth breathing, I suppose. And HiyA's going to throw down his first expansion. That was Zero, I'm sorry. Zero's going to throw down his first expansion. Right in the natural, as expected for a Zerg player. Pretty standard over here. And he is going to send out that drone scout. So, once again, as expected. So he's going to find HiyA at this point right away. Realize that he's not cross positions. And see that so far there is nothing too sneaky going on. But I'm kind of curious if he's going 14cc, to be honest, because I haven't seen a barracks yet, and I feel like we would have seen that by now. And it looks like he is 14cc being dropped down, and if he can make this work, he's going to be in good position. But Zero's not stupid. He gets the drone right on top of that SCV to start harassing it and takes him down to half health. Oh, even below that before the next SCV can come repair or defend or anything. And at this point, Zero's not going to take that out, most likely. But he is going to draw off a couple more SCVs than HiyA would like to keep that alive. And another shot goes down, but again, the healing is strong enough where, the repair is strong enough where you should be okay. We do see that third macro hatch going down for the Zerg player. Spawning pool is completed, and I would assume that we're going to see some links coming out soon. Looks like the drone continuing to try to work down the SCV building that command center. I can't imagine he's going to take it out in time, and no, he's not. He's going to start checking out a main base here for HiyA and get even more of an eye full of a scout, and he'll probably see 2 barracks going down, because that's what I assumed it was in the mini-map, and it is. That's exactly what it is. So the same build that we're seeing, that we saw from Mind. Really nice micro with that drone. They've got a little bit more range, being like +1 range compared to melee. with that acid spit that it does. And he is drawing a lot of SCVs from HiyA to try to defend against this, because HiyA is expecting Lings on the way, and we do indeed see Lings. He knew they were coming. There's only one Marine out on the field. Bunker is down. SCVs are being saved, and I don't think there was any loss for HiyA, and there were losses for Zero. So outside of the mining time loss for HiyA, he's in a pretty strong spot over here. We do have 2 Marines out on the field now, and with the well, it's the dual barracks, I guess. I don't know if he made a third one or not. He should be able to defend this pretty easily and make enough Marines to hold off any more attacks from the Lings. So HiyA in a strong spot. Looks like he's debating gas, and there it goes. Cast myself casting old games. I'll think about it, man. I'll think about it. That would be the weirdest thing ever. I could critique myself. Like, look at this idiot. Look at his stupid hair and his stupid face. Someone should punch him. I just punched myself in the face. At the moment, we've got some Lings out on the field, probably trying to deny any scouts coming from HiyA. I don't see any SCVs. Well, no, I see an SCV. Is that an SCV, or is that a bunch of Marines heading out for some free Overlord kills over here? It's hard to say. It looks like HiyA is scouting around with those Marines. He does have an academy going down, as they show on the screen over here now. And so I would expect that we'll see a Medic Marine push, much like we did in pretty much every other TVZ of all ever played. Spire's getting ready to go down. It looks like we had a couple. I don't know. It was just 2 drones that weren't mining. That's unfortunate. That always sucks. Barracks number 4 or 3 and 4 coming down. I can count. It's like the 80th time I've made that mistake, but it is what it is. Do I live in New York? Not anymore. I live in Ohio now. Exciting gray, winter gray Ohio. I'm in the up in the northeast portion of it, so it's particularly snowy by the Great Lakes. Fantastic place to live. But that's really not that bad. I can't complain. Barracks still underway, and we've got some Lings trying to keep pressure on the map outside the base. There's only 5 of them. Really, they're just going to stop any scouts and get an eye full of any Marines pushing out, which will give them time to drop some creep colonies and sunkens. He's got some time before the medics make this a strong push, but they are out now, so depending on if he's got any Marines in that bunker or not, it could be enough Marines to make a push to force the Sunkens down. Engineering Bay going down. Last time in Mine's game, he actually went Engineering Bay first because he was potentially worried about early Muta. And actually, this is going to be kind of tight. The Engineering Bay is not done, and he still has to make turrets. So it looks like he's going to push out with those Marines to try to force commitment of resources into another 2, if not 3 Sunkens. But Zero doing a really good job of like, no, I'm going to run by if you do that. And draws the Marine backs for longer than necessary. Now, there are defending Marines back in the natural, so that's not going to last for much longer. And it looks like HiyA is just going to push in at this point to force Creep Colony number 3, Sunken number 2, and probably Sunken number 3 as well, and maybe even a 4th one. It looks like a 4th one has been committed to. Muta are out of the field now, and it looks like there's about 7 of them. That was a really quick glance of a count. And I'm not sure we've got any turrets out yet. That Engineering Bay is now done. He's upgrading most likely +1 weapon, I think, against Zerg. I forget. And turrets are going down now, so they will be there by the time Muta get there. I'm curious if they'll be ready to defend the natural mineral line or not. I didn't see if he's got any building there. It looks like he should. Muta heading in, though, and they are on the offensive. We do have 4 turrets now, and they're going to take some pretty good damage, but with the mountainous region behind them, they are able to jump to cover repeatedly and switch the targets for those turrets with the pretty solid Muta Micro, that clumped up Muta pack that he's got there. And he's taken out a lot of SCVs, actually. That's a pretty low saturation from what he had. Marines continuing to push in, though, and it looks like he's forcing Zero to make a decision. And wow, we are going to see 7 Sunkens on the back line over here, or the front line over here, to try to delay and defend against this. And that will be enough for dealing with quite a few Marines, but oof, that's a big cost, man. That's 7 drones. And what is it? Is it 75 minerals each? Is it 75 or 100? Maybe it's 100. I can't remember. I still haven't played yet, by the way. Yeah, Ohio is East Coast time zone. That's right. Yes, it does have good insulation, but it's It's airy, somewhat spacious, so it can be a pain in the ass to heat it, which is always fun. Sorry, YouTube, you get to listen to my housing woes as I stream this live. Anyway, the Muta harass is continuing, and he's got a lot of SEVs here, but there's a fairly strong force from the Terran player. HiyA is checking for expansions, not going to see anything, and I would imagine he's thinking about pushing out soon. He's probably going to wait for a tank or two. He's got 2 control groups full of Marines and in some level of medics behind that. And there are lurkers out on the field at this point. Starport's done. No science facility yet. No starport addition to build those science vessels. Obviously, you need the science facility anyway. But it looks like HiyA is starting to threaten the front door of the Zerg player once again. Zero is heading around the side, though, for potentially a flank. But that is scouted out by a single Marine. Very nicely done by HiyA, actually, to spot this. And lurkers are moving in, and they're getting right up in the face, and oh no! All the Marines go down, and a couple of medics. HiyA is trying to reinforce, and now we're going to see the game of leapfrog with these lurkers. And again, if these Marines get caught up, they're going to be in trouble, and a couple more will go down. I'm not sure how many really got hit by the lurker spikes, but enough damage was done where this is going to be a little dangerous for the Terran player. He does get a drone that was going for a free expansion in the bottom left. I like this single Marine and or SCV that HiyA's got around the map. This is very strong against the Zerg players who are greedily just sending one single drone to go take those. And that's a big delay. I mean, by the time he gets another drone across the map and clears out that single Marine, he's going to be in pretty good position. Hive is done. Defiler's coming out. Crackling's probably on the way, if not already done. Or at least the upgrade of it. And Zerg is in a pretty strong spot too. There hasn't been any economic harassment done to him, so we might see a long-term game here, and that'll be the first. And oh, HiyA is in mouth-breathing mode. Here we go. He is concentrating hard at this point, moving in with the tank and the Marines and the medics. He's got a couple firebats out to deal with the cracklings and anything else that might be under Dark Swarm. So it's always important to have that splash when going up against Dark Swarm, and that'll be pretty strong against the Lynx because the splash do a lot of damage against them with those firebats. Hydras are out, continuing to come out to probably make some more lurkers, and it looks like at this point Zero is pushing in on the Terran, and he only just now got that third base back up. So wow, that single Marine delayed forever that third base of the Zerg player. Lurkers trying to run in, but they're going to see that there's a large force with the science vessel, and they're going to back up to the ramp's protection. But really, it's still dangerous. Tanks are sieged up to this point. A couple of shots go down on those lurkers. They're going to back up. Lurker manages to stay alive, and the Terran will continue to push in at this point. Oh, he's going to re-siege. Base number 4 going down for Zero as well, which is going to be really good for him if he can keep it alive and really continue to delay this push. The problem is the Terran push, once it makes its way to the front door, now Zero starts to find himself in some trouble here. A Radiate is done and down, taking out a free lurker over there, and another lurker looks like he just went down as well. Looks like he's not going to try to save that lurker for any extended amount of time because there's no way to save him anyway. And there he goes, he is dead. Single Defiler. Is he going to get irradiated? No, he does not. Does he not have energy? 2 Defilers out there now. Another Lurker being morphed in. Dark Swarm is in a great position here. Lurkers finding cover under the Dark Swarm. They managed to separate the majority of the Marines from the tanks, and these tanks are going to go down. No! HiyA is in trouble. He can't really push in against this, and he's caught between a rock and a hard place, or a Lurker and a sunken. Maybe we'll change the expression here, and he's going to have to find a back door out of here. And maybe he'll go push in on the third base that he knows comes back up. But no, he's juking, he's going back. Nidus is down as well, so the Nidus will help him defend against that. More Dark Swarm on the way to defend against the Marines that are out in the open field. And Zero is in a good position here. The next command center is on its way. It's being built as we speak. And the Terran player loses a few more Marines to another hidden group of lurkers on the other side of that bridge. It looks like the science vessel is going to head in for a quick scout over there, and he's going to see exactly what he's going up against, and he's probably going to try to stay away from Scourge as he does that. Small contingency of Marines head in for the hatcheries over here, but we are going to see that Nidus in use. One of the Sunkens being taken out to open up the front door a bit better for Zero, and he might lose that hatchery. We'll see how quickly he can clear it up. He is going to be close. No, he's going to save it. The hatchery is saved with 100 hit points. So I'm kind of curious if he had stayed on it, would he have killed it or not? My guess is he probably would have got it down to like 40 or 50, but I don't think it would have died completely. We do see a couple more radiates go down, one on a lurker, one on the defiler. That's going to be helpful. The defiler is playing in a dangerous area right now. HiyA looks like he's a little worried here. Mouth breathing in full effect. Another factory going down, a couple factories going down, a lot of factories going down as he switches to mech style play. And whenever you see a Korean take his hand off the keyboard, you know he's in trouble, because that is a huge drop of APM for 3 seconds. He can't do that. He can't do that. But he is going to head in with vultures to try to, you know, so this is great. So he's going spider mines with vultures most likely, which can win the game if the Zerg's not careful. I'm curious though if he's going to advertise this tech switch with sending out the barracks as he is, or if he'll use them to soak up damage. But he's going to switch away from the Marines because they're just taking too heavy of hits from the mass amount of lurkers and Dark Swarm that we're seeing. We are going to see spider mines down on the field, so if Zero doesn't scout this with enough time and runs like a large group of lurkers into it, this will swing the game. No doubt about it. I'm not seeing any scouting lings for taking out mines, and I'm not sure if Zero is even aware of it at this point, that the vultures are out in the field. He's got some spotting overlords and stuff, so there's a high chance that he did see it. But it's really hard to say. Something just happened that bothered him. I don't know what it is. Looks like he's going to head in. Maybe he got hit by a spider mine and we didn't see it, but he's going to head in at this point. And he does lose one lurker that didn't make it under the swarm for whatever reason. Another swarm. Oh, he Plague's it! That's the first Plague I think I've seen so far. And he's going to take out a lot of the medic energy on those Marines. Sometimes it's nice to keep the medics separated from the Marine pack so that they don't use unnecessary energy until the Marines have lost their entire life. At this point, it looks like the Terran is once again pushing in on bases number 3 and 4. HiyA knows that he's got to make something happen, but we've got a few Niduses here to defend this. Another Dark Swarm goes down. A couple Dark Swarms go down. This is going to deter the Terran player. He's going to have to go back. He does have 2 Science Vessels out. I don't know if he's got the energy to irradiate. There goes one. He takes out one of the Defilers, but he leaves up all the drones. So no eraser trick for HiyA, and he is going to back off. So now he did make him use some Dark Swarm and plenty of consumes to do that. So there's some value in it, but it's limited. In the meantime, HiyA does have base number 3 and 4 on the way. 3 looks like it's fully functional. 4 looks like it's being built at the moment. Armory is upgrading as well, which is going to help his tank and vulture force here deal with the different lurkers and ultralist tech that we see pop out for the Zerg player. But I'll be honest, if you look at the map, it's pretty well divided for Terran control versus Zerg, and I feel like Hero, despite being on going on his 5th base, is in a bit of trouble here. Oh, that Science Vessel might go down. He tried to migrate. He goes, no! Oh, he tried. He was so close. I don't know if he could have stimmed his Marines a little bit sooner to try to go out and take that out. You saw him try to do the 45 angle, save the flying unit trick, but it didn't happen. Nidus is being used to defend against that 3rd and 4th base as he sees more pushes coming in. And Spider Mine's being used against the Terran player. That can be huge if it takes out a tank. The tank is in a Dark Swarm, so he's going to lose that. Some more Science Vessels out on the field. Spider Mine is going down for the Vultures in the back mineral line over here. Zergling dancing out in the middle of the field like doing the worm or something, just kind of chilling. Sometimes you just got to break it down and just gotta dance. You ever see that like video of the fat guy dancing in the middle of a street? I'm pretty sure it's an actor, but I love that video where he's just like, he's got a sign, and he's just whatever. Another radiate goes down on the one of the defilers, both the defilers and a lurker. If he doesn't get a Dark Swarm down soon, he does get 2, and he's in pretty good positions. He'll be able to defend this. More Scourge out on the way. Both Science Vessels go down. Huge losses incurred for HiyA. And he's going to regret just leaving him hanging like that. Leaving him hanging like Sack might do. That's not good. But he is going to continue to push it on this 3rd and 4th base. I think that's a good play. Very good positioning here behind the rock ledge. But more swarm going down. Right on the tanks. There's no spider mines to be found over here. Vulture's not able to do anything against that. And the lurkers are actually taking out the spider mines unknowingly. But it's going to continue to be defended. We do have a Vulture here that's got a couple of kills on him. Going up against the drones. I'm surprised one drone hasn't just gone and done flicked him on the forehead to take him out. He's got 4 kills at this point, which is surprising. I'm surprised HiyA is losing 5 drones to this, 6 drones to this. This is crazy. 1 single vulture. But to be honest, I'm not sure it matters. Look at how many units have been taken out for the Terran player. Now, the Terran, HiyA looks like he's getting a 5th base going at this point, so he's still in a good position. 9 kills on that vulture. Wow! Finally getting noticed by Zero. And he's going to take out that vulture now, as well as the spider mine. So back in a good spot over here. Another Plague-oo. Plague-oo number 2 going down on the Marine Force. And that's going to take a single shot from vultures to take them out. Not to mention cracklings destroy Plague Up Marine. So that's huge. Nice Dark Swarm at the last second to save the Lurker. That is under wraps over there, under the Dark Swarm. Tanks pushing in, though. Fairly good defense against the mass lings that are coming in with the spider mines, and well, not the spider mines, but the vultures that do really good damage against lings. But a single Dark Swarm will totally end this push. Drop technology is done as well at this point, and combined with Dark Swarm, this is going to be very strong against something that can't shoot up. So huge plays coming here from Zero, very well anticipated with these ultra drops, and they're going to absorb a lot of damage. There's the double Dark Swarm. It looks like the Defiler is going to survive as well, and everything is cleaned up from HiyA. A few more factors going down. He is committed to this mech play. I should have watched the upgrades on the units here. We got +2, +4, so almost fully upgraded lurkers. Well, yeah, I guess almost fully upgraded lurkers, but almost fully upgraded ultras as well. A couple work killed the spider mines, so those spider mines are doing some work, which is great. Still really good map presence for the Terran player. He's got units all over the place. More radiates going down. That will eventually take out an Overlord, I believe. They do like 250 damage or something, so he is forced to drop out those ultras. Those ultras will go down to the forces that we see here of the metal force over here, especially with the radiates. And the radiates not going to do anything against the metal. Actually, they're going to help out because they take out the lings as well. Really waiting to see. Ooh, another ultra was taken out by a spider mine. Another couple ultras taken out by spider mines. And HiyA's doing a pretty good job at getting high value trades here, but losing tanks in the process. And now he has lost his control of the middle of the map, and Zero is starting to push in. We've got some tanks sieging up, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to deal with this. We've got a flank coming in from both sides. Vulture's trying to delay, maybe draw some more ultras into spider mines over here, but I don't see any laid. No, he's actually going to lay him still. Some spider mines going off. It looks like they are going to take out an ultra or two, but the ultras are right on the tanks. Tanks are going down, and Zero is in a very strong position here. He's turned the tables on HiyA, who had the map control and presence, and now he's going to take out the 4th base of the Terran, who is not going to be able to defend this, and pushing in. Now, the Zerg has lost his base in the 6 o'clock location to that push. He is still only on 4 bases, so the Terran player is not out yet. He hasn't lost his own bases, and he is dealing with the ultras with spider mines, and that's unfortunate for the Zerg player. Those are really high-value trades, but the Lings are starting to clean that up as well. Looks like he was able to lift off his 1 base, but you can tell with that mouth breathing that he is under the pressure. There are a lot of ultras coming in. It looks like Goliaths are out at this point as well. Swarm guaranteed to go down. They do. Tanks have got a siege up on that. Looks like we're going to see some radiates go down, both on the ultras and on the defilers. The tanks are getting taken out, but they can't get taken out that quickly because they got a very strong tank line. And actually, we're seeing the Zerg get cleaned up here without doing that much damage. He loses most of his forces, and not much damage was done against HiyA. But HiyA is almost mined out. He's got 1 base that's got full minerals, and he had to lift off from base number 4 and 5. So this is getting really close here. A single lurker is delaying any more mining from that 4th base. And doesn't look like he's building for Amal's factories at this point. And there's no way he could. He just doesn't have the income level. I'd love to bring up the resource tab for a second, or the income tab for a second, if I could, be like, here's where they're at. And it looks like in the meantime, Zero is rebuilding in the 6 o'clock position, and he's just going to Zerg him. And he may be able to win this just with Zerging him. But HiyA is pushing out with a fairly strong force, and I'm not sure that the ultras are going to be able to survive the spider minefield here, as HiyA once again puts himself in strong position. Lings trying to run and take out as many of the vultures as they can with their own spider mines. Goliath's able to deal with the overlords. Many Scourge out on the field, but the Goliaths are still alive. So the Scourge get pushed back with the Goliath pressure, And now we see HiyA pushing into the main base this time with a very solid tank force. And he's got spider mines behind him to protect against any flanks. He is sieged up right in the middle of the Dark Swarm, but with enough tanks, the splash damage will take out anything that runs through him, so it really doesn't matter. Looks like he's going to back off and get out of the Dark Swarm for now, though. Try to drag the Ultras into the mines. The Ultras feeling, I guess, confidence hooking up the mines, but another one goes down. And they are expensive units. And HiyA is going to push in now at that 9 o'clock base and take out a free expansion. But really, it looks like Zero is only mined out at his natural base at the moment, which means he's set up for the long game if HiyA can't get his 4th and 5th back up and running. And HiyA is still only on 1 mining base. So at the moment, HiyA is completely counting on this single force to win the game for him. Nidus is being active, and we've got units coming through the Nidus Canal to try to deal with this attack over here. They're getting a little hung up, and they are going to go down to the tanks very quickly as they continue to get hung up. Wow! Poorly executed by Zero. He loses almost all of his ultras before they can even make it to the tank line because they're going out one at a time. But this is going to clean it up, and this could be GG from HiyA. It looks like his main base that is mining at this point at the 12 o'clock location is going to be harassed and potentially taken out as well. And he's down to a handful of units to deal with what's left here. A single lurker that has been apparently irradiated is going to go down, but not before taking out quite a few SCVs. And this could be the final battle. Whoa! We got a huge spider mine that is friendly fire, taking out the tanks and the vultures. And now, I don't think there is anything for HiyA that he can do. And GG coming from HiyA. So well done by Zero, putting in a lot of effort to try to take out that the Terran player with his strong ground forces. He lost a lot to those spider mines. I honestly think spider mines was the right idea, but HiyA never resecured those mining bases and ultimately got outbuilt. He couldn't keep up with the production of the Zerg, and that lost him the game. So GG, see you in Game 4. Here we go, guys, to game number 4 of KSL Day 5. Second to the last day of the group stages, and we'll be doing the last group stages on Saturday, starting at 8:30 p.m. EST. For any of you who don't make the live stream, come watch, man. Twitch.tv/RisePubGames for some fun in the pub and watching some Brood War. This game is going to be a fun TVT of Mong versus C. And Mong has a 0% win rate against Terran. Now, I will say that there was a gentleman on YouTube who I don't know if I'll be able to bring it up quick enough to find it, but highlighted the fact that Mong is actually pretty good and better than most people give him credit for. When it comes to playing the game. He's got a pretty good record, and he's probably one of the stronger players in the post-Kespa world of StarCraft, Brood War. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find the comments. Nope, I can't find it, so I apologize for not remembering your name off the... Oh, actually, you know what? I can find it. Let's not be lazy. I can go to this real quick, mute myself. There it is. And... Bob the Goat! Oh no, it's Bobo the Goat, even better. Bobo, that's a fun name. Bobo the Goat. I appreciate that information, my friend. That's very helpful. He says, not surprised you haven't heard of Mong. He's one of the few good players in the scene who isn't an ex-Kespa pro. He does have around 60% win rates in all matchups, though. Hasn't really won anything, especially with the more of the ex-Kespa coming back. But he's called the Afrika Flash, and for good reason. So, very good, insightful comment there that we can work with and share that information with the guys watching the stream, which is pretty cool. I knew a dude named Mong in high school. He used to hit on my girlfriend all the time, culminating in him walking to her house one night in the pouring rain. Now he's a doctor. That escalated quickly. And here we go. Let's jump into the match over here. Did they show the map? It's La Mancha. So let's get right to it. Mong versus C. A sea of Mong. The gong. I'm sorry, I'm still reading the chat over there. And into the game we go. Down at the bottom right, we have the green Terran player, who would be C. C green. We'll call it C green. Actually, maybe that's teal. I don't know. And then in the top right, we've got Mong in orange. The orange orangutan Mong. I'll leave it at that. But Mong has proven that he's not only a good player, but, well, was he no, HiyA was the one who was a pretty good speaker, the surprising good speaker. Dude, Epster said that was teal, but that looks green. Is it just me, or does that look like straight up green? I don't know. We'll call it sea green, and now we don't have to worry about which it is. And Mong orange. Mong orange. I told you my jokes were bad, and you'd get sick of them by the end of the night, if not already. So yeah, TVT, last TVT that we watched, C lost, and basically C went ground units and lost to a double starport heavy Wraith play. Mong looks like he's about to fall asleep, but I guess that's just his intense look. Hard to say. I'd also like to see Mong win this, guys. I mean, I want to be honest, I like C though. I've said this before. A big fan of C and his interaction with the community. So, but it would be nice to see some new, fresh names here, making names for themselves in the scene. It'd be pretty cool. It is straight green, right? I'm glad I'm not the only one who thought that was green. I didn't think there were so many options and colors in Brood War. I thought it was like 8 colors, like pink, blue, red, orange, yellow, green, teal, and brown and white. So I rattled those off pretty quick, and I think I covered almost all of them, by the way. It's pretty impressive. All I did was go around the color wheel. But is there a purple? I don't think there's a purple. Anyway, 14cc coming out of C green, and Barracks on the other hand coming from our friend Mong. And Mong is going to scout him right away on top of it, going for the correct direction instantaneously. Nobody goes clockwise. He must be hacking on the land. I don't know, man. But Mong's got his gas down, and we're going to see quick tech coming out of this guy, which could be a huge difference in how this game plays out. I wonder if C's got his gas coming down yet. There's the hidden CC outside of position here. But he knows something funny's going on, because that barracks is not nearly as far done as Mong's, which is completely finished with a factory. So he knows there's a command center somewhere, and that gas is only being built now. And the tech advantage could be strong here for Mong. And now if C can hold off, he might be in great position, but here's the thing. Mong is in close enough position to put some heavy pressure on right away, and I just feel like C is going to struggle to deal with this. A single Marine heading out, not going to be a huge deal. Another Marine will be out by the time it gets there, so that won't be a big deal. But the metal will be the big deal, and he does scout the CC trying to float into position over here. I'd be curious if he throws down like engineering bay of his own to try to block that. That would be crazy. He does not. He backs off. He's got his Marine coming in. That CC still hasn't landed, though, for C. And C takes some free shots, actually, on his Marine over there. It looks like he's throwing down a bunker, perhaps, or a supply depot. Hard to say what that is at the moment. I would guess it's a bunker. And the first Vulture is out on the field. I like how he got the Vulture before getting the machine shop, actually. That could make or break things. If he gets a good run by and heads up the ramp and just micros the hell out of everything over there. But no, he's going to turn back, and maybe he's just looking for counter-scouting SCVs, which we do see coming out at this point. And it looks like that is what we're going to see. He goes back to base, and he's going to stop any scouting information from heading his way. Armory on the way as well, so we should see maybe Goliaths, maybe upgrades, but I would actually guess Goliaths. And a starport coming down for C. So C is going for the stronger tech route versus the stronger mid-tech from Mong. But we will see an early tank push here. And he'll be able to have Goliaths to defend against Wraiths, so even a Wraith spotter won't do him too much good. First tank is out and potentially on the way, or is he just going to sit out in the middle of his base? I don't know. We'll have to see. But Vulture's out on the field. Looks like he did get that scouting SCV, which is great for him. You can assume that C knows that he's going to be facing metal, but he doesn't know how many factories there are. He doesn't know what the timing is for tanks. He can guess, but he's not going to know that there's 2 with siege tech on the way to his base, potentially. We also have what appears to be his barracks heading over to do some scouting for pushing things out, and a couple of SCVs to go either repair or create some turrets, depending on what he feels the need is. Or, who knows, I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do there. And there is the barracks floating in, and here's our first Goliath as well. So, really, C's in some rough shape over here. That barracks spotting the mineral line, the tanks will be able to go right behind it and basically delay mining for quite a while. He doesn't have siege yet, but it's got to be done soon. It just finished. Perfect. Engineering bay going down. Wraith is out on the field. Wraith is going to be greeted by 4 Marines and soon to be a Goliath as well. My guess is he's also upgrading Goliath range, which is the most likely scenario for that next upgrade. Although he could be getting spider mines or something like that. We do have tanks out on the field for C as well. But if the tanks move up in time, he's not going to be able to siege and save that base. So he's pushing out with everything that he's got. SCVs are on the move as well. The Wraith goes down to the Goliath. That's huge. And C is in a lot of trouble. They're still throwing tanks out on the field. The Vultures are taking out the SCVs. And so is the Goliath. The Goliath does really good damage against that. Siege is now out. And Siege gets, or C puts his, C goes into Siege. And he is going to push this back for a moment while more Goliaths catch up for Mong. But huge losses incurred for C. He lost most, if not all, of those SCVs at his natural base. And that single Wraith is going to put a little bit of damage on that that tank over there. But the Goliaths are going to meet up very quickly here. And I'm not sure he'll be able to take that tank up. No, he doesn't. The Wraiths do no damage against tanks. It takes forever. And he loses the Wraith. And not only does he lose the Wraith, but that was a spotting Wraith. And that Goliath helps absorb some tank shots, and that tank goes down. And now, the mineral line is once again under fire here for C, and he is mining out of one base. He's lost most of his SCVs, and I can't see him coming back from this. He is going to be able to take out that scouting barracks eventually, but by that point, I expect we'll see scan, if not, I don't know, whatever, the game ending for that matter. He is going to pull back that barracks and probably repair it, but still using it for scouting information. It looks like the Goliaths do have that range upgrade. Yes, they do. And more tanks are on the way for both players. But another tank goes down! Wow! Huge, huge loss for C. He's trying to push out, but he's not going to be able to do so, and he's using that barracks to scout. But with that range on the Goliaths, that's going to go down as well. And it looks like actually both scouting barracks are going to go down, which is, I guess, unfortunate for both players. But I'm not sure it matters, because the Goliaths here are going to be able to scout and absorb siege tank hits. He does lose one Goliath, but he takes out the tank. And once again, the natural mineral line is under fire for C. And he can't see a way out of this, I bet. I told you! They're terrible! The jokes, they're horrific. And they only get worse as the night goes on. So a little bit of a stalemate here, but you can definitely see the pressure on C's face. He can't push out very easily. Mong is definitely in a strong spot here. Oh, I'm out of beer, I keep forgetting. Now the engineering bay has made its way down the field for additional spotting. There are 2 Wraiths, and the Wraiths are going to be able to help deter this scouting building. Oh, but this tank line is scary. Mong has got the contain going down, and C now has 2 factors producing, which is great for him. He is mining once again, but he spent a lot of money making SCVs and remaking SCVs and losing Wraiths, and he's down in tanks. The Wraiths are great. But Mong does not look very worried at all at the moment. He's just going to continue the slow push in, the constricting anaconda around, because you know Mong's got an anaconda. He's not a boa constrictor type of guy. Right around the neck of C, and I'm not sure I'm not sure there's a really good way for C to get back in this. I mean, he does have a starport, so he could go drops, and he could maybe push out with using those drops. And we don't see a starport coming out for Mong, so it's not over yet. It's not over yet. But if C decides to split up his forces and go for a drop, Mong will be able to defend this. And now he sees this coming as well, and he's putting in a turret line of defense as well. And we do see a dropship. Okay, so C is not dumb. He's thinking about this stuff. He's not taking tips from a non-Korean C- player, or right now D+, well, probably D- player right now. And he's going to try to do that, but Mong is way ahead of him. Mong is throwing down the turret line, and these turrets will probably, at the very least, spot the dropships coming out, if not take it out, if C's not paying attention. And continuing to constrict around the base over here while getting a third base of his own up and running, or at least he's in position to do so. So we've got us. Oh, that's spotted by the SCV. Four vultures are out on the field. Not sure what they're planning on doing. They're probably going to look for a third. And Mong is probably aware of this at this point. Spider Mine's down on the field. Tanks, yep, tanks continuing to siege up at home at this point. They do get some shots down on those vultures. I'm a little surprised the vultures didn't go in between the two and try to drop a couple of mines, but pressure and all that makes it difficult to make decisions sometimes. And C does have some mines on the map now, so he's definitely not out of this. Third base is going down. Actually decided to go for the 3 o'clock location after all, and it looks like he's getting some shots on the tanks, and a Wraith goes down. Second Wraith is going to go down. C's playing sloppy here. Both of them go down, and once again Mong is in a strong position, and those Goliaths are actually going to yeah, they're going to soak up a couple of shots, but then he does lose that tank line. So it looks like that potential fourth is going to be spotted. We've got 3 tanks back at home for Mong. He's going to be able to defend against any turret harass with that very easily. Barracks goes down again for C. Actually, did he lose his first? He might not have lost his first one. He might have repaired it up. I'm not really sure. No, he did lose it, so he rebuilt that. Factory number 4 down, and maybe 5 for C. Only 3 factories, but all have machine shops for Mong. And it looks like the starport's going down as well. So at this point, Mong, with that third base going up in the 3 o'clock location, will start running away with this game. And CGG's! CGG's! He realizes he can't defend that SCV line any longer, and Mong takes the game. Wow! Wow! C looks very disappointed, and I believe with that he's knocked out of the group stages, guys. Let me take a quick look here. That was his last day of games. He is finishing up at 0-3. Mong goes 2-1. Free. Oh, we didn't talk about free yet. Well, that's tomorrow, I think. I'm not going to talk about free. Look at him chug that water. Yes, down in that. You know that's not water. That is vodka tonic right there, or gin and tonic, more likely. Nobody drinks vodka tonic. So what do we got here? So Kwanro ended up at 3-0. Bisu at 2-1. So both will move on. Actually, I don't know if they'll move on. We still got another game or two out of their group, I think. Mind ended up at 3-0. Killer at 2-1. Zero at 3-0. HiyA at 1-2. And Mong at 2-1 and C at 0-3. So we'll see the rest of the games for the group stages and who else progresses out of these on Saturday. So again, if you're not here today and you're watching this on YouTube, come join us Saturday night, 8:30 p.m. EST at the pub. Bring some beer. I'll have my own for sure, but I don't know if I'll have enough to share with everybody. And we'll close out the group stages and hopefully have some fun doing so. So thanks for joining me tonight. See you soon.